Stephanie is an amazing woman. I'm truly blessed to have met her. I don't remember a specific moment that was like a lightning bolt that said she was the one, but I do remember talking to one of my best friends, and I said, Jared, I want to marry her. I don't know when, but I want to marry her. I don't even know if it's just like a moment that hits you, or if it's you just kind of grow into something like that. You grow into that feeling, and you grow into that comfortable state where you know this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
I've waited 100 years, but I'd wait 1,000,000 more for you.
After I graduated college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I got a job cashiering. While I was training, he just so happened to waltz in the door wearing his Chucks and his little striped hooded jacket, and I immediately noticed him. I kept an eye on him, and I was secretly hoping and praying that they would assign him to the register right next to mine. And he was assigned, and just came waltzing over, and I was so nervous I couldn't even turn around and say hi. So I just stood there until he started talking, and he asked me my top 5 favorite bands, and I froze. And I could only list 2 out of all the bands in the world, and I felt so inadequate. But apparently that was enough to impress him, because the rest is history.
Nothing prepared me for what the privilege of being yours would do.
The proposal was well planned, well orchestrated. I grabbed some of her closest friends and asked them if they would participate in the proposal, and I planned out an entire day where she would go off and meet with different friends at different locations, and then be drove to another location and meet a new friend, and then go with that friend to the next spot, and so on.
I was told that we had to get up really early and drive to his parents' house in Louisville. And so as we were getting ready to leave, there was a knock at the door, and he had me open it, and it was one of my best friends. And I just kind of froze. I was like, what are you doing here? And Phillip just came up and without a word took my bags off my shoulders and told me to go with her. As I left, she handed me a card, and it was handwritten from him, and it had just instructions on don't ask questions, just go with Becca. She took me to Lexington, and there ended up being 8 or 9 different stops, and at every stop, the location had something special to do with our relationship, and the last card ended up at my parents' house on the front porch. And so as I drove up, I was thinking, oh, maybe the friends I'd seen today will be at my house. I knew what was happening by that point. And I had thought that I had prepared myself all day that I wouldn't cry. And I was wrong. I started crying as soon as we pulled up into the driveway. And as I got out of the car, more friends came piling out of the front door, and I couldn't help the tears. And he came out very last.
And then I walked up to her, and she was already crying and quite excited. But I rambled through some words, and I can't even tell you what it was I said. But I asked her if she would marry me, and she said yes. So, and that was one of the best days of my life.
What was really neat is when you put all of the cards together that he had written on, if you flipped them over, it was like a puzzle piece, and it says forever and always. Apparently he had been doing it for months and Facebooking all of the friends involved, so it was this big plan behind my back, and I had absolutely no idea.
It was something else, but it had to be big, it had to be good, it had to be well thought out, because she deserved it, and she's that important. I think I'll be able to calm down, and even though my heart's racing, I'll feel at ease knowing that she's coming up, and it's just going to be me and her, seeing her smile as she's coming down the aisle, and it's going to light up the room more than her wedding dress. She's just going to look gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to that moment and seeing her.
I have thought about this moment throughout the entire wedding planning process. It will be the first time that day I will get to lay eyes on him, and I think I will have just the biggest smile plastered on my face, and I'll be so excited to make it down that aisle and get to hold his hands and talk to him and get to have that first kiss as man and wife. So I think it'll be really special, and I'm very excited for that moment.
Your love is my turning page, where only the sweetest words remain.
Phillip, I know that this next step in our journey will be filled with love, laughter, and adventure. I couldn't imagine having a better partner and best friend to share this life with. When I think about the future, I can see us sitting in our rocking chairs on a big front porch, and I can't wait for many, many years to come.
I know that she already knows how much I love her and I care about her, but I want her to know that we'll always be a team, even through our struggles, that we'll always be a unit working together, and that I will never leave her side. I always want to stand by her and be one with her.
I've been living for